The film begins with a team of doctors trying to save the life of a premature newborn baby. A few moments later, the baby's mother, Diane Sherman, is called to see the condition of her baby who has passed the critical phase, and she asks if the baby would be okay. The scene shifts to a child named Chloe, who has 5 major diseases including asthma, diabetes, and paralysis. At home, Chloe has a routine of taking many medicines and checking blood to control her blood sugar levels. Chloe is shown to be a very intelligent young teenager. She has a desire to study at one of the top universities in the city, and applies to her college application with such passion. She is always excited when a letter comes, and hopes that it is a university acceptance letter. But unfortunately, she never gets any letter from the university. Chloe also loves to do experiments and assemble sophisticated tools that she taught herself at home. One day, when Chloe is studying, Chloe hears the sound of a car. She thinks it is a mail delivery car, but immediately looks out the window, and it turns out to be her mother who has just come home after buying things. When her mother is on the phone, Chloe immediately peeks into her mother's grocery box and takes some chocolates in the box. However, Chloe accidentally sees that there is 1 pack of green medicine with Diane Sherman's name on it. And naturally, Chloe is curious about what disease her mother has. At night, Chloe's mother gives some medicine for Chloe to take before going to bed. Chloe is surprised because there is a green medicine she saw before. She queries this to her mother, and she claims that it is Chloe's medicine and the name on the medicine package is only the recipient's name. Chloe, who is still astonished, continues to take the medicine and go straight to sleep. The next day, curiosity gets the better of Chloe. She decides to take 1 pack of the medicine in the medicine cabinet and looks at the name of the medicine. Trigoxin is printed on the package, and she is confused, because this time she sees her name wrapped in the medicine. She peels off a little sticker with her name, and sees Diane Sherman's name written on the back. At nightfall, before Chloe goes to sleep, she is given some of the same medicine as the night before. But this time, Chloe does not swallow the green pill and takes it back to be examined. After her mother is asleep, Chloe immediately goes downstairs to find information about Trigoxin through her computer. Unfortunately, the browser can't be accessed because there is an internet problem. While using the computer, Chloe doesn't realize that someone is watching her in the corner of the room. The next day, Chloe immediately calls random people and asks that person to use the internet and check the Trigoxin listed on the medicine package. It turns out that Trigoxin is indeed a medicine for the heart, but strangely, Trigoxin is a red pill, not green. Chloe begins to suspect her mother is up to something. Chloe is still very curious, so she asks her mother to go to the cinema, as an excuse to find information there. While at the cinema, Chloe tells Diane that she wants to go to the toilet. Chloe leaves the cinema, and goes straight to the nearest pharmacy. When she arrives at the place, it turns out to be a very long queue. Chloe immediately asks the person in the queue to let her cut the queue. She questions the pharmacist about the green medicine given by her mother. She asks what's the use of Trigoxin. The pharmacist sees the drug and is confused. The drug is not Trigoxin, it is lidocaine. The drug is usually used for dogs. Chloe is shocked to hear this revelation. Her world is thrown upside down. She then asks what will happen if humans take the drug. The pharmacist says, if people take this drug, then the person will experience paralysis. Suddenly, Diane comes in panic, and immediately injects an anesthetic into Chloe's leg, causing this revelation to come to an abrupt end. Her mother takes her home. Later at the house, Diane starts to panic, so she locks Chloe in her room. And she goes out to buy a new paralytic prescription that she has been looking for on the internet. Chloe wakes up and realizes that her mother locks her in the room. Chloe is a smart teenager, so she has a few tricks to unlock the door. Unfortunately, her mother had anticipated this and put the broom handle to bar the door. But Chloe doesn't give up so easily. Chloe uses her scientific and technical skills, and takes a solder blanket and holds water in her mouth. She then comes out of the window and crawls on the roof of her house to go to the next room. As the suspense builds, she uses the heat from the solder, and then the water to break the glass in the next room's window. The blanket is used as a placemat so that Chloe's body is not exposed to broken glass. After getting out of the window, she feels her asthma flare up, and unfortunately, she forgets to bring her inhaler. Chloe is then trying to crawl with a shaky breath to reach her room. Arriving in her room, she immediately uses her inhaler to relieve her asthma on time. Chloe immediately gets into her wheelchair and rushes to run away from her house. However, the elevator that Chloe used to go down the stairs has been damaged by her mother. She then desperately throws the wheelchair and crawls down the stairs until suddenly she slips and rolls down. When she falls, Chloe feels a miracle. She can feel and moves her toe because she has not taken the medicine her mother had given her for a long time. She becomes increasingly convinced that her mother is a psychopath. Chloe immediately gets into her wheelchair and out of her house through the road used to go to the city. Suddenly, Chloe hears the sound of a car coming. Chloe is afraid it is her mother's car and immediately hides. It turns out that the vehicle is the postman who used to deliver letters to Chloe's house. Chloe then immediately rushes out of hiding to block the postman's van until she is almost hit. The postman gets out of his van and asks what is wrong with Chloe. Chloe just says, "Help me." When the postman is helping Chloe, her mother's car suddenly passes and she sees the two of them. Diane immediately approaches the postman to ask what happens to Chloe. The postman stops Diane, who wants to take her child home. The postman says that Chloe doesn't want to go home and wants to go to the police station. Diane persists in bringing her daughter back home, even threatening to report the kidnapping to the police. Because there is no signal, Diane's efforts are in vain. She unwillingly lets the postman take Chloe away, but on the condition that she comes to. When Chloe is being taken into the postman's van, Diane stabs an anesthetic into the postman's neck until he faints. Chloe is also sedated until she faints. When she wakes up, Chloe is already in the basement of her house, and locked up in it. Chloe sees a black liquid made by her mother, which is probably a paralyzing drug for her. Chloe is unable to get away. The wheelchair can't move, because her mother had chained it. Chloe then looks for a way to get out of there. Until, Chloe sees that there is a pile of paper. It turns out to be a notification regarding Chloe's admission to the university she had previously registered for. Chloe, who knows that her mother had hidden the paper from her, looks frustrated and annoyed. The revelation continues. Chloe finds several photos showing that Chloe used to be healthy and not paralyzed. And even more surprising, Chloe sees a paper containing a note of the death of a baby named Chloe, who died 2 hours after being born, along with a newspaper containing news of a baby kidnapping at the same place, same time as Chloe's death date. At that time, Chloe realizes that she is not Diane's biological child, and she is the child who was stolen from her biological parents. It is revealed that Diane's baby shown at the beginning of the film was not saved. And because of that, Diane became so frustrated that she kidnapped someone else's baby in the hospital to replace her dead baby. When Chloe is stressed and confused, Diane arrives. She tells her that she is not really her mother, and that she has also made Chloe sick and paralyzed all this time with medication. Diane says she did this because she loves Chloe. She tells Chloe to forget all this and go back to how it used to be, throwing away Chloe's medication. Chloe, who is still afraid, refuses her mother's words until her patience runs out. Diane then takes the black liquid mixture using a syringe to inject it into Chloe. Chloe is getting more and more frightened. She immediately runs behind a cupboard and locks it. Chloe finds a poison, and when her mother manages to open the door, Chloe immediately drinks the poison until she overdoses. Diane weeps very loudly seeing her daughter dying from the poison. Here, it can be concluded that Diane loves Chloe so much that she wants to control every moves that Chloe makes since birth. But the question I ask you, is this really love? Or a selfish love? Now, Chloe, who is poisoned, is immediately taken to the hospital for medical treatment. But fortunately, Chloe is successfully cured by the doctors there. But she still finds it very difficult to move and talk. Chloe sees her mother staring at her through the glass in Chloe's room. Chloe, who sees this, immediately asks for help from the nurse in her room. By pressing the help button, Chloe can't speak yet, so she can only signal through her eyes. The nurse gives Chloe a note and crayon so she can write something down. When Chloe is forming a word, a sudden emergency alarm is sounded. It turns out, the emergency alarm is a sabotage carried out by Diane to attract the attention of the nurse who takes care of Chloe. Not long after, Diane enters Chloe's room and immediately pulls out all Chloe's medical equipment and takes her out. After the nurse returns to Chloe's room, she is confused by Chloe's disappearance. The nurse sees the note written by Chloe that reads, "Mom." The nurse immediately reports this to security to find Chloe. Chloe is brought forcefully by her mother. She can't ask for help. When she is almost out of the hospital, on the escalator, Chloe's mother can't move Chloe's wheelchair. It turns out that Chloe uses her legs to hold the wheelchair in place. Yes. Here, Chloe's legs can be moved a little. Before long, the security guards come to stop them from leaving. Seeing this, Diane immediately points a gun at the security officer, saying that she just wants to go home with her child. One of the security guards manages to shoot Diane and she falls down the stairs. Chloe is rescued and Diane is safely secured by the authorities. The scene then moves 7 years later in a mental hospital. Chloe, who is now an adult, is shown to be able to move her legs, though it is still a struggle for her. There, Chloe is visiting someone who turns out to be Diane Sherman. Chloe says that her life now with her real family is very pleasant. She has many friends, and she has even graduated from her favorite university. Before Chloe says goodbye, she seems to take something out of her mouth, which turns out to be the dog medicine that Diane had given her. Chloe then says, "I love you, Mom, now open wide." That concludes the ending of the movie run. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.